You know, there are some nights in football that just feel different. The air kind of crackles, you can feel the history all around you, and the impossible suddenly feels like it's right there for the taking. Tonight, we're going to one of football's great cathedrals, Anfield, for a story about monumental hope crashing against a seemingly unstoppable force. This one line from a fan, Joe Pearson, just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly sums up the feeling around the stadium before a single ball was kicked. This wasn't about logic or stats or probability. It was about pure, raw hope, a quiet belief that maybe, just maybe, something incredible was about to unfold. So, let's talk about the task at hand. It seemed impossible. They had to overturn a 2-0 deficit against the European champions, Paris Saint-Germain. But here's the thing. This is Anfield. It's a place where the normal rules of football sometimes just go out the window. And this slide lays out the whole drama perfectly. On one side, you've got the cold, hard facts. A 2-goal mountain to climb against an absolutely world-class team. But on the other side, you have the stadium's own legend. The ghosts of comebacks past against Saint-Etienne, Dortmund, and of course that night against Barcelona. They're all whispering that it can be done. Yeah, and the pundit Clarence Seedorf absolutely hit the nail on the head. He knew this wasn't just going to be a physical fight. It was all in their heads. Could Liverpool's players actually tap into that historic energy, their belief, their fire? You were going to see it in their eyes from the very first whistle. And believe me, everyone was watching for it. And boom, there it was, the first sign. Just 6 minutes into the game, a corner gets whipped in, Alexander Isak gets a clever flick on it, and it's saved. But you know what? It didn't even matter that it didn't go in. The crowd just erupted. It was a statement, a sign that all that hope, it wasn't for nothing. The belief was real. But, well, hope is one thing. Reality is something else entirely. And the reality on the pitch was that Liverpool were up against an opponent that was just formidable. A team that wasn't here to sit back and defend. They were here to run the show. In fact, even before Liverpool's chance, PSG had made what one reporter called an ominously assured start. I mean, they were not rattled by the noise at all. They got the ball, they won a corner, and they basically set about trying to silence that famous Anfield roar with their own brand of calm, confident football. Now, check this out. This slide really shows you the level of quality Liverpool was facing. At one point, PSG's star winger, Kvaratskhelia, beat a defender without even touching the ball. He just let it run through his legs. The journalist called it a lubricious ability. I mean, what a word, but it's perfect, right? For a skill so smooth, so slick, it was almost like watching liquid. And this right here is the real kicker. This wasn't just a good team. They were playing magnificently. The reporter Rob Smith made this insane comparison, saying this PSG side might be the best he's seen since Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, arguably the greatest club team of all time. And they were doing it all without even breaking a sweat. But Liverpool, they weren't going to just lie down and take it. What happened next was just this frantic, breathless period of football. Pure chaos. The game was hanging on a knife's edge, swinging from one end to the other, and you felt like one single moment was going to decide it all. And here it was, that moment for PSG. A massive chance falls to Dembélé. He's only about 8 yards out. He turns, he shoots, and it flies over the bar. You could literally hear the entire stadium take a collective gasp of relief. A huge, huge let-off. They were still in this thing. And then Liverpool comes roaring right back. A powerful run from midfield creates a one-on-one chance for Isak. It's a fantastic save. And yeah, okay, the flag went up for offside later, but in that moment, nobody cared. The crowd went wild again. That belief, it was flooding right back into the stadium. And then the story changed. Just like that, in the space of a few seconds, all the noise, all the drama, the frantic pace of the game, it just stopped. And it was replaced by this quiet, awful hush. Just as the tension was hitting its absolute peak, Liverpool were pushing, the crowd was believing, and you could feel that question hanging in the air. Is this it? Is this the moment? Is this where the miracle really starts? But it wasn't a kind of turning point anyone ever wants to see. On the slick, wet grass, Liverpool's forward, Hugo Ekitike, just slipped. There was no tackle. There was nobody even near him. It was just this cruel, random piece of bad luck, and you knew instantly it was serious. This timeline just tells the whole sad story. Within a minute, the stretcher was already on the pitch. You could see the concern on the faces of players from both teams. And as Ekitike was carried off, with his hands on his head,
You could just feel the air go out of the stadium. The dream, it felt like, had been broken by one tragic slip.
So what happens then, when a night filled with so much hope comes to such a sudden, somber end? You're kind of left to just think about what it all means, about trying, and about what it means to fail. Mayon, this quote from Niall Mullen just says it all, doesn't it? For all the history, for all the noise and the passion and the belief, you can't always defy gravity. Sometimes the fairy tale just crashes headfirst into that cold, hard wall of reality. The magic just runs out. And this, right here, this gets to the very heart of it. We ask these players, these athletes, to give us escapism. We put the weight of our own hopes and dreams on their shoulders. But that slip was such a brutal reminder that under those jerseys, they're just people. And that night was a reminder that these guys, they aren't always allowed to be human. Which kind of leaves us with this one last thought. Most stories in sports don't actually end with someone lifting a trophy. They end like this, with what ifs and heartbreak. So when that beautiful dream dies, what's actually left? Is it just disappointment? Or is the real value found in the hope itself? In that one brief, brilliant moment when thousands of people all dared to believe in the impossible together?